Hi, guys, and welcome back to this week's episode of the Actors Waiting Room podcast. This week, I've interviewed the lovely Lee Abbate, who is well known for his character as Zack Diamond on the original series of Waterloo Road. We talk all about Lee's creative journey from being a childhood actor all the way to his career right now. So I hope that you enjoy.
Hello, do you hear
Hey!
me?
Yeah.
Hello,
Hey! How's it going?
going well, yeah. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Good,
Yeah,
good.
it's been
Nice to
so
see
long
you.
since I've seen
I
you.
know, I know. Don't. It's been, yeah.
It's been years.
I think so.
Yeah. I mean,
You've
and
not
you've
aged
been,
today.
oh, thanks. Oh, lovely. That's so nice. Amazing. Thanks so much for doing this as well.
No,
It's
thanks
so
for
good.
having me.
It's so much fun. So much fun. You're not in the
Yeah,
country? Are you not in the country at the moment? Or are you
I
away?
am. I am
You are.
until April. April is when I leave again.
Amazing. You've been traveling so much. I can see all over your Instagram.
Yeah, it's kind of become a little bit of a obsession.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to travel all the time now.
That's wicked. That's so
Yeah.
good. So I'll introduce how we know each other. So we know each other. I met Lee probably a good couple of years ago now. I want to say in 2021.
I think that's accurate.
Yeah.
I
And
believe so.
yeah, it was around lockdown time-ish, sort of. COVID was happening, right?
Yeah, that was a whole, yeah, it's a bit of a blur now, but yeah, I think you're
Yeah.
right.
And we met on an independent film set. And that's how I knew Lee, who actually, to be honest, I've been looking through your CV on IMDb, and you've been so modest about what you've done, by the way. And I was just there like, he never spoke about this and he never spoke about that. So, I mean, that shows your depth of character. But I was like,
Yeah,
I was there like, he's actually done so much shit. I was like, what the hell?
yeah,
Yeah. And then, but to be honest, I always say this, you definitely got me that job. So I props
mm.
to you on that one,
Yeah.
on the
Well,
independent film.
I was kind of not, I said I wanted to be involved because I'd never done it before.
Hmm.
And then I just became way more involved in the audition process. And after I saw your audition, we were talking about it. I was like, listen, I think she's great. I don't think we need to look any further. But we had people after you. I think you were like the third to last or
Oh,
something like that.
really?
Yeah, there was just a couple after you, and they auditioned, and I feel like auditions are honestly like a first date. I can see why casting directors, within the first few moments of you doing it, I knew that I was like, yeah, she would be good for the role. So
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
to, yeah, see that process. And then afterwards, after the other two had done it, Chris was like, Lee, what do you think? And I was like, listen, I think Grace is the right for the part. And he was like, okay, okay. I think I agree. And I was like, she's definitely, yeah, like hire her.
Oh. So
Yeah. But
I props to you on that.
cheers, cheers, yeah. No, well, props to you for doing a really good audition because
Yeah, but
it really worked.
I didn't actually audition for the role that I eventually got, did I?
No, no, you didn't.
And
I
do you know
remember.
what? I don't know if I've ever told you this as well. Because I saw the breakdown and I saw the character that I eventually got,
Mm,
and I looked at that part and I went, "Oh, that's such a boring part. I always play that." I was there like, that's my casting, but I don't really want that." So I was like, "I'll
yeah,
go for the other one and try to do something else." And then I just wound it right back to
yeah.
that one. So that's
Yeah,
fun.
it's just I don't think like being typecast is because it used to be taboo and sinful to say such a thing, but I think now with how the industry is, to be typecast is a blessing because you're getting work.
Yeah. Yeah, they know
And
where to
I
put
don't
you.
think, yeah, when people are like, oh, he's just typecast as this, yeah, and he's working. Like
Yeah.
I don't think he or she gives to, you know, because they're working.
Mm,
And that was what I was told. Like, don't get typecast. And I was like, listen, bring it on.
yeah.
If I'm the same kind of character, but I'm working, then who cares?
Yeah. Yeah. And like
But yeah,
you really have played very similar roles, haven't you? Like
very similar.
throughout
Yeah,
your childhood, definitely.
yeah. I always got cast as the bad lad for some reason.
If only they knew.
Um, yeah, if only they knew I'm actually a monster. But yeah, I used to be like, oh, I don't want to do that role because I'm going to be typecast. But
Mm,
as you kind of get older and kind of reality sets in, it's like, yeah, but you're working.
yeah.
That's what we all want
Yeah, you want to be
in this
continually
industry.
working.
Yeah,
Mm.
you want to be in an industry. I don't care if I'm playing the same role 40 times in a row.
Mm,
If I'm working, I'm working 40 times in a row.
yeah. That's
So
so
I
true.
don't. There's so
You're,
much
yeah. You're the
like.
first person I think that's actually ever said that.
Well, it needs to change. I think the
Mm,
industry, and I'm not huge in the industry. I kind of get by, but there's so much that I wish that I could say. And if I had the
mm,
platform to say it, I would,
mm.
because there's just so much. I mean, you've been to theatre school, just the just I think there's so much falseness and pretentiousness in the industry, and it's really not that. It's just a job. It's
Yeah.
just a job. I mean, it's a pretty wicked job if
Mm,
you get to it, but you don't. There's so much. I don't. Am I allowed to swear?
yeah. Yeah.
Such bullshit. There is, and like casting directors will say all these things about making sure you're networking, which I agree is a very good thing. And they'll say certain things which are like gold dust, like it's just so good. You like they all say the same thing, network and making sure you're putting yourself out there. I agree with those things, but then they'll say some things, and I'm like, but that's completely wrong,
Mm,
completely backwards. Like I was always told when I was starting to be like a blank canvas because you could be cast for anything.
mm.
Whereas now I'm like, play to your strengths
Yeah.
and be that typecast because you're clearly good at it.
Mm.
You don't see a gymnast do a good role. They might be good on the floor and then go, no, we'll put them on the rings because they might be good at that. No, you stick them on the floor because that's where they're good at.
Yeah, that's so true. And I think once you get your platform, then you're allowed to sort of split and try and do different
Yeah,
things later
absolutely.
on, maybe. But yeah, to begin with,
Yeah,
just play to your strengths,
play to your
definitely.
strengths.
Yeah,
Dress
100.
for the role. That the saying is so true. Dress for the job you want. That
Mm,
that cannot be more true in acting. If you're playing a certain role, dress for that. Do whatever you can. If they're, I don't know, a chavvy or a rough kind of character, wear a cap, put on a big puffer coat.
mm,
Mess up your hair a little bit. You
mm,
need to go in instead of going, oh, but I'm so pristine and maybe they'll cast me. Well,
mm.
they can only see what you're bringing in. And if you're bringing in just blasé and yeah, my hair's really neat and you have to play a rough character, they're
Yeah.
going to go, yeah, maybe. If you come in rough,
Mm,
like they say within 10 seconds, they know. So
mm.
if the first thing they see is a rough looking person for a rough looking character, they'll
Yeah.
go, okay,
Yeah.
now I'm interested.
Mm,
But again, I was told be a blank canvas, making
mm,
sure that you can do any role and be whoever they need you to be.
mm.
Make sure you are that role.
Yeah, and I think that makes it unrealistic for when you walk into auditions and you're trying to fit characters that clearly like aren't for you. You know, like
Yeah,
sometimes I've ended up in audition rooms where you're like, this totally isn't the part for me. I know I'm not going to get it. We'll just see how it goes. And like you try and mold yourself into that when it's just not your thing. Like,
sometimes it's not. Sometimes
yeah,
it's not.
yeah, no,
And I,
definitely.
I think that's a really good point because you feel so defeated afterwards.
Mm. Yeah, you beat yourself up
Whereas,
and it's not your fault.
yeah, everything's a lesson. Yeah, exactly. And actors, and this goes for anyone in this industry, just just do your best. Don't
Mm,
beat yourself up if you did a shit audition. You just did a shit audition, but you can learn from that. Okay,
mm,
what went wrong? Because and I think it's really bad that they don't tell you. You can never learn.
mm,
It's they just don't tell you. And I get it, they're very busy
mm.
and they just see thousands of people for this one role. But you're
Mm.
beating yourself up because you have no idea. And I
Yeah, but
think,
also I think maybe as well there's feedback like yeah, okay, there might be something in your acting ability, but I think the majority of that feedback is stuff that you cannot change. It's the
Yeah,
way that you look. It's the way
yeah,
that you are innately, and like you can't learn from those mistakes. Like
no.
that's just the way that you are. So, that's
Which
it
brings
really.
it back. Yeah, exactly. Which brings it straight back to just play to your strengths.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about Waterloo Road. Very excited about this.
Sure,
Because I
sure,
actually
yeah,
never got to ask you about this ever on set, so
yeah.
that's fun. And I have to admit, I've never seen Waterloo Road.
That's okay. I
I'm
didn't
so
watch it before
sorry.
I was in it either.
Oh, really?
Well, my parents did, and I dabbled in it, but I never really watched it.
No, but I think it just passed me by. Like when I was at secondary school, people were talking about it
Mm,
like all the time. Like, did you watch Waterloo Road last night? And I
yeah,
don't know where the hell I was. I just was just like, no, like
no,
I just didn't watch it.
yeah,
Um, yeah, but you were in it for 20 episodes, which is a long time.
yeah. Was it 20?
I've checked this, Lee. You
Was
were in
it?
it for 20
Oh
episodes.
my God, you know more than I do. Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And
Wow.
your character's name was,
Zack Diamond.
oh, well done. Good. Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
remember that one.
Good, 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 good. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how old were you when you did that then?
I was 15.
Jeez. And that was like the
Yeah.
first major thing that you did, right?
That was the first job I ever had.
What?
I never had a paper round. And obviously, you start work normally when you're 16. And yeah, it was my first ever job. It was the first way I was earning money. It was the first acted job. It was just, yeah, it was a wild time. And it never really quite, I still don't really quite process that it happened.
Hmm.
I think and this is probably because of the way acting is that you're always searching for the next job.
Yeah.
You can work for a year, but then a few months go by and you go, okay, I've got so long left. What's next?
Hmm.
And I think that I'm still like that. I'm constantly going, right, what's the next thing? And I never quite truly appreciate what I've done or what I'm doing whilst I'm doing it. But yeah, 15.
That's
So that
crazy.
is,
And like, was it like through an agent, obviously? Like you obviously must have started out young
yeah,
then. Yeah.
yeah. So I started doing Stagecoach when I was 9 years old,
Lovely.
and they have an agency attached, and they were getting me all sorts of really good jobs. Well, I say jobs, they were getting me auditions, they were getting me really good auditions because, again, they had the right people.
Hmm.
And like yourself, when I auditioned, I actually auditioned for the wrong part,
Hmm.
or I auditioned for a different part. And they had, so I auditioned for Harley. So I was working on it with my dad in the bedroom. It was a really emotional scene, actually. I think his nan had passed away. That's like one of
Okay.
the first times you meet Harley, is his nan's passed away.
Right.
So I was in the bedroom, like crying my eyes out. And I went there and I thought I did a good job. And then they said, "Oh, we've got you down for Zach." And I was like, "No, I'm here for Harley."
Oh.
And at that point, my heart sank because I was
Hmm.
like, oh God, I've got it wrong. I've got it wrong. And they were like, no,
Hmm.
no, it's okay. Obviously, you've just been sent the wrong paperwork. And could we see you for Zach? And I said, yeah, okay. I was like,
Hmm.
14, 15. And he said, take your time, go out and read it. We'll come back and just read off the paper. Don't worry about learning it. We just want to
Oh.
see. And I was like, okay, okay. And I thought I bottled it. I
Yeah.
thought I'd completely failed. I was like, oh God, I'm okay. I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I didn't really put that much into it because I was so distraught with the fact that
Yeah, you were
I'd
just going
auditioned for
for
the
it.
wrong
Yeah.
role.
Mm.
But clearly the distraught was working because that's what my character was.
Oh, okay.
So I was kind of method acting without method acting. And yeah, I auditioned for Zach, the appropriate part, got a recall a few weeks later, a couple of weeks later. And then I got a phone call. And at this point, because I was under 16, my parents were like my managers. So
Yeah.
they were on the phone negotiating deals and answering phone calls on me because I would just be like, yeah. And then put
Yeah.
down the phone, like, what did you say? And I'm like, I don't remember.
Don't know. Yeah, I just want
Yeah.
to do
So
it.
my parents did it. And I remember I was in my room. So I was in my front room and my mum had a phone call and she was saying, oh, it was your agent. I was like, oh, okay. And she went into the kitchen and then she came back out and she said, Lee. I was like, yes. She said, you know that part that you went for? I was like, yeah, for Zach. And she went, yeah, for Zach. Yes. And she went, well, you've got it. And it didn't register with me at first. And I looked at her and I went, what? She went, you got the role. And I went, I got the role. She was like, you got the role. And I was like, really? Like, I just couldn't believe it. And I remember I got up and I ran around my house and then I planted my knees on the floor in my front room. I just cried because I was so
Oh,
happy.
yeah.
And that was it. And then I thought my life was sorted.
Yeah.
And then cut to now, and I'm like, it's really not. So yeah, I think that kind of put the fear into me of searching for the next thing because I thought I was 15.
Mm.
I'd not even finished school yet. I was doing my GCSEs at the same time.
Yeah, that's mad as well. Like, did you have to do like
Yeah,
tutoring and stuff while you did it, or was it
yeah, they had
like,
a tutor on set, and there was a few of us doing GCSEs, and every time she'd peek her head around the corner, and we'd try and hide because we didn't want to study. We
yeah,
just
so
wanted to
okay.
be like the adults and
Mm.
have coffee and tea and water and juice and biscuits and just sit and play games and things like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So I learned pretty quick. Yeah,
How many rounds were there for the audition? Do you remember, or was it just that one?
I think there was I believe two.
Okay.
I went to one at the actual place. I went to the actual school, and it was so weird
Which is where,
because
by the way?
well, I believe it's been knocked down now, but it's in Rochdale,
Okay.
which is near Manchester. Um, it's an abandoned school. Apparently, it was a
Um,
really rough school, so they were onto something.
Fair.
That's what Waterloo Road was like.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah,
I
that
just
that
can't
was it.
behind you like your parents being like, I just love the fact that they were just like, right, we're going to do this for you. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
well, I've been very blessed because they've supported everything that I've
Hmm.
done. And I was always trying to find stuff to do as a kid
Mm,
because you just do, don't you? You want to find what you like, and I loved like playing games, and I was doing swimming and
mm,
karate and rugby and football, and none of them really stuck. And then I went to this stagecoach like trial class, the taster class.
mm.
Then after the first few, I just fell in love with it.
Yeah.
I was like, this is great.
Mm. And what was
Yeah,
filming like then? Like when you arrived on set, like was it
I
like, oh
was
God, I've got to learn all these new things? Or were they obviously I bet they would be patient because like you guys were younger. So
yeah. Well, it's if you're under 16, you have to have a break every 4 hours, which is frustrating for them. But it was just
yeah.
what it was like. So going on to set, I remember my mum was my chaperone, and after every take, I'd ask the director, was that okay? Was it good? Every single time. And then my mum pulled me to the side and she was like, Lee, you need to stop asking that.
Shut up.
I was like, yeah. And she was like, you need to stop asking because if it was bad, he'd tell you.
Yeah.
You need to stop asking. I was like, okay, okay, okay.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what to do. I was just trying to do my best
Yeah, of
in
course.
it. And now, cut to now, I've got all these great, your toolbox and your
Yeah,
tool
that you do
bench. And
though.
yeah,
Yeah.
but back then, I was just winging it because
Mm.
I didn't really know the intricate details of acting.
Mm.
I'd done it for a few years in Stagecoach,
Mm.
and then I was doing it now. So when I look back at my performance, it almost makes me cringe, and I don't
Mhm.
like it because I'm like, oh, that was so bad. Oh, that was so bad. How did I get away with this? But obviously at the time, I think that was the point, is that Zach isn't this. He's literally the most normal teenager that you
Yeah.
can possibly think of. There's nothing special about him. He doesn't shine in any way. He's just trying his best.
Mm.
He's just in a school which, all these big kids are running around and he doesn't have a clue.
Mm.
So I think that probably helped, is that I
Yeah,
was just
very
winging it.
real. Yeah,
Yeah,
very
it's
real.
very real. But
Yeah.
when I look back now,
Mm.
having studied acting and acted for so long, yeah, just,
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. But
but
yeah.
it is what it is. I can't
Mm.
beat myself up too much because I was just doing what I thought was best.
Yeah, no. And like that was going to be my next question is that you'd had all this experience and you went on to do Shameless?
Yeah, that was straight off the back of that, which is when I was like, the roles are rolling
Yeah,
in.
come on
I'm
in. Yeah.
sorted. Yeah. And
No,
that
but
happened once. That only happened once, and I went straight back to auditioning. But
yeah,
that I went straight off the back of that for Shameless,
yeah.
and that was again he's the character Sean he's a bit of a bad lad. He's a little bit different, but he's still that moody, grumpy teenager.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I must have just been nailing that
That
right.
thing. And so why, because if you thought that, if I can ask this, if you thought that all roles are coming in, and they obviously were,
Mm.
why then did you decide to then go to drama school?
Well, you know what? I didn't go to drama school. I only went to college.
Okay. Did you know,
Um,
where did you go?
Literally just my local college.
Oh, I thought you did
Yeah,
go to drama school. Okay.
no, not at all, not at all. All I've done, which for a long time made me almost doubt myself, because I'd seen all these people at auditions and they were like, "Yeah, I've gone to RADA or I've gone to
Mm,
LAMDA or Guildhall or Central, all these prestigious schools,"
yeah.
and they're like, "Yeah, I've just been doing this and this," and I felt so intimidated at that time.
Mm,
But then looking back on it, I'm like, "Well, you're at the same audition as me,
yeah. You got there as well.
so you're in the same boat."
Mm-hmm.
But again, these are like big learning curves for me as
Mm,
I've gone on. So
yeah.
I only went to college. I was actually going to do A level and just do drama. I just wanted to do drama, acting. That was kind of what I just wanted to do. I found it so enjoyable. I found it so fun. And that's
Mm,
all I wanted to do: act, study it, learn it, do it.
yeah.
And I was going to stick at school and do kind of like drama, music. I can't even remember the rest. History, something like that.
Yeah.
And I considered no other options. But again, my parents, it was my mum specifically, she came over to me and she said, "Well, why don't you look into college? Look, I've looked into this course, go in,
Mm,
ask about it and see if you like it."
yeah.
So me and my mum and my dad were that very night sat up and I was writing questions in a notebook. And I went in and I actually interviewed the tutor
Okay,
because I
fair.
was like, listen,
Well, that's
and
you want to go
again,
there, yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
but I wasn't interviewing because I wanted to interview. I just interviewed because my parents said it would be a good thing to do. So I
Mm,
had no tactics. I had
mm.
no like going, listen, pal, tell me everything. I just went in and I was like, so what do you do? Like I was just kind of doing things, 16 or 17 years old. And he always giggles because he's like, no one has ever done that since. No one
Yeah,
has ever done that to me to try and attend this
that's
college.
so funny. That's amazing.
And that was it. So,
Mm.
like yourself, I did a little bit of studying. I've gone to workshops, I've gone to classes,
Okay.
I've tried to network, I've done all the things that you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that's basically it.
So your family seem like really involved. Are they in the industry, or do they, have
Not
they
at all.
always enjoyed that part of it? Because they sound so on it.
Yeah, I think my parents are just, they're so, because I'm an adult now, supposedly. But then I look at my parents and I'm like, you're so much more of an adult than I think I'll ever be.
Right.
They have things figured out.
Hmm.
I just they're so supportive, but they've just got things figured out. And I'm like, how do you know this? Because nobody taught them. Their
Yeah.
parents
Yeah.
were my mum's parents passed away even before I was born,
Right.
and she was still in her 20s,
Mm.
and she'd lost both of her parents.
Right.
She was just figuring it out. And obviously,
Yeah.
my dad, his parents were they were just parents. They
Mm.
gave him money to go do this and that, but they've just kind of figured it out. But
Mm.
they're really good at it, and
Yeah.
I don't understand. I've never met people who are good, who are so good at having things figured out than they have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm kind of learning a lot from them as I get older and older.
Mm.
Of they've just
Very
got
proactive by the
yeah,
sounds of it.
but no,
Yeah.
they were never in the industry. My
Mm.
mum loves to sing in the car. That's basically it. That's as far as it goes.
Yeah.
But they've just been so supportive, and they've
And
always helped me.
in terms of like agents and stuff like that, obviously
Mm.
you had your first sort of agent linked to Stagecoach.
Yes.
And then sort of how many, you don't have to say all of them, but like how many agents have you had in that sort of? span up until now, or
It's a
like,
good question. And
know?
again, this is kind of things I've learned with people. So at first, Stagecoach Agency, they had a fee up front, which I didn't realize is not what you're supposed to do being in an
Oh, sorry, I didn't
agency.
hear that. What, you got a fee up front?
You had to
Oh,
pay, yeah, to be a part of the agency,
oh,
which
wow.
I
Yeah,
thought that was normal.
yeah,
Nobody ever told me different.
yeah.
But they are very connected.
Mm.
I was getting seen for films, uh, TV shows, adverts. I was getting a lot of high profile stuff, but then I was hearing about all these people who,
Mm.
the fee they would take, the fee that I got taken off Waterloo Road was so high.
Oh,
But
okay.
again, I just thought it was normal. It was 20%,
Yeah, that's a lot for TV. Yeah.
which is a lot. And I believe the norm now is about 15 for TV and film,
Yeah, I
and then
think
12 for like theatre or something like that.
yeah, it does vary from agent to
Mm.
agent, but like you said, like I think I've got a friend that also had their agent, I think still takes 20% for like TV and commercial.
Yeah, I guess it depends. But to answer your question, I think I've probably had about five or six,
Okay.
I believe. Um,
And has it got easier to leave that agent each time now that you kind of know how to exit or not? Because
you
it
know,
can be a very
yeah,
difficult conversation to leave an agent, can't it? Like
yeah,
it's not like there's bad blood on both sides. It's just sometimes it is just the way you need to leave in a way
yeah,
and
but you always feel so guilty.
guilty. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just because of the way we're taught is you go in, you're just so polite to everyone, you're
You
so
beg.
friendly. Yeah, yeah. And
Please
and
take me.
yeah, honestly. But that is the way it is. But as I've gotten older as well, this comes from the things that I've learned along the way. And my last agent that I was with, she said, look, it's a business at the end of the day. It's a business. You work for me as much as I work for you.
Mm,
So we need to figure out ways we can get you more auditions, we can get you seen by the right people. And that completely changed my mindset. So
mm,
now I don't feel as guilty. I
mm.
still feel guilty because I'm like, oh, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
And I do it with normal jobs as well. If part-time work, or if you're in a corporate job or office job, whatever it is, you've got to understand that it's a business on both sides.
Yeah.
If they're not getting you work, why would you stay with them?
Mm, mm. Yeah.
You just need to realize, like I did, that they work for you
Mm.
as much as you work for them.
Yeah. It's
So if they're not
partnership.
getting you the roles, I would email and just be like, right, what's going on?
Yeah.
Because I'm not hearing anything. And they'll go,
Mhm.
okay, here's a list. I can't remember what they called it. Just the list of everything
Oh,
they've
like
got.
your subs list,
The
right? Your
sub
subs
list.
list? Yeah.
That's the right word. Yeah. And I would say, right, okay, can I have regular updates? Maybe a
Mm.
week. And they said, okay, sometimes it will be as quiet. I said, okay, let's do every 2 weeks.
Oh,
And
wow.
I
Okay.
would treat them as a business partner rather than like I have to impress them. I do,
Mm.
but you do that anyway. You go out, you just kind, you're polite, you're professional.
Mm.
That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough in terms of your relationship with your agent. What
Yeah.
you then need to do is treat them like a business partner.
Yeah.
Okay, you're not getting me any work. Why is that? Where
Mm.
are the auditions? Not in a rude way, obviously,
Yeah.
but you can then
Well, you're
it kind of
working
set
out
me
together,
free from
aren't you? You're
going,
working out where
um,
it is.
exactly. It
Yeah.
kind of set me free from the whole, can are there any auditions coming through? And at the start, that's what you're like because you feel
Mm.
so rude asking anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
But whereas now I'm like, right, I'm not getting any auditions. What's
Mm.
going on? Okay,
Mm.
we've subbed me for this. Okay, right. How can I improve? Tell
Yeah.
me how I can improve. Let's work together.
Yeah.
Let's get me auditions because your agent wants you to get auditions.
Yeah.
They don't want to have to sit there day after day going, we'll submit for this and this and this. If they can just go,
Mm.
right, you've got this coming up, you've got that job lined up next and that job next, gone.
Yeah.
Everyone's lives are easier. And
Yeah.
that completely changed my mindset.
Mm. Yeah.
Do you know
There
what? Just
definitely
be
is that thing. There's a weird balance, isn't there, about like I think where people are like, oh, I'm afraid for the agent, afraid of the agent, and
yeah,
then also like, but I also want this agent to be like my best friend. And I'm
yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I don't think you can have that type of relationship. Like some people are like, I want to be able to pick up my agent and be able to like tell them absolutely everything. And I'm like, but
Mm.
that's not really their job role in
That's
that
your
sense.
that's
Do
your
you know what I mean?
friend.
Yeah.
Everyone
So
has a role.
think that's advice that's got mixed up in the whole loop of advice that people tell you as well. So like, oh,
Yeah,
the agent should be so willing to like hear you out at, at 8 o'clock at night. No, they shouldn't. Their
no,
office hours are closed. Like that's it. Like
yeah,
your office hours should be closed. You should not be ringing an
exactly.
agent being like, oh my God, I'm stressed out about this, this, and this.
Yeah,
Like, you know.
it's the industry is a business, so treat it
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
you
No.
don't need to work every single hour, and you don't need to be studying accents and dialects at 12 o'clock at night. Like,
Mm.
give yourself the time. It's just a job.
Yeah.
It's
No, that's
just a job. And I think
wow.
that sets, you can still have the passion and the drive for it, but you don't need to treat it like it's the end of the world if you don't get that audition.
Yeah.
It's crushing if it's a part you really wanted,
Mm.
but you've just got to go, right, I didn't get that role. There's nothing I can do to change it.
Mm.
What's next? What can I do next? Okay, uh, maybe I'll network. Okay, I'll send some emails out. And
Mm.
that's also the thing. Don't be afraid to email.
Yeah.
Do not be afraid because people are like, oh, well, they'll never see it. Well, they'll never see your email if you don't send
Yeah, that's so
it.
true.
Just send it. If they get 1,000,001 emails a day, yours might get chosen. At the same time, they might read it and leave it, but at
Mm.
least you've sent it.
Yeah.
Just be proactive with your learning, with your networking. Just email. Email, I don't know, who's Nina Gold, the
Everyone loves Nina
most
Gold.
well-known, you know, like email her.
Yeah.
Just say, listen, um, I'm not sure what you've got coming up. Um, I know that, you know, I mean, I don't know. You could say anything really, but look, I would love to get to see you in the room, or a phone call or a Zoom call, anything
Mm.
if you're not too busy. I'd really appreciate a bit of time or a bit of feedback or just anything.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate that you're very busy, but if you have any time at all, that would be great.
Mm.
I'd love to hear from you. I follow your work. I think you're wonderful. I think
Mm.
your casting is spot on, and I think I could offer a good role
Mm.
of myself, to you.
Yeah. No, you're so fearless, Lee. You're like, off you go.
Well, I wasn't. If you'd have met me like at the start of my career, I wasn't.
Mm. Mm.
But people, you can get exploited so easily in this
Yeah,
industry,
you can. No, it's
which
very true.
is, you do at the start, you're so, oh, can I? Oh, yeah, yes, ma'am, I'll do anything you want. Whereas now I'm just like, right, okay, you're not servicing me. So either we
Mm.
need to rechange this relationship
Mm.
or we need to think about something else
Yeah. Yeah.
because I'm not sitting here and you tear your hair out
Yeah, you
trying to
do.
work a job and you want those auditions and you want those roles.
Mm.
You need to be as professional as you can, but you need to fight for your place at the table.
Yeah.
And it
True.
doesn't matter if you have the smallest CV or you're Leonardo DiCaprio.
Mm.
You fight for your place
Yeah.
and you
Mm.
do it in a respectful way. You do it in a professional way, but make your voice heard.
Yeah.
Send
Yeah.
emails, get some phone calls, ring up your agent and just say, look, right, clearly what I'm doing is not working. What can I do to change that?
Mm. Mm.
Where
Yeah.
can we go from here to get me more roles? And you can say, look, I'm networking. I'm doing everything I possibly can. My CV and spotlight is spotless.
Mm.
I've done everything I can. I'm currently trying to write my own work. I'm getting in touch with people to make show reels. I'm doing everything I can, but what can you do for me?
Mm.
Because nothing's clearly working.
Yeah.
Again, not as harsh as that.
But
Professional,
yeah,
but
professional,
you
yeah.
want to get your point across, and you just, don't be afraid to phone them. I know they're
Mm.
very busy. Leave them a voicemail. Just say, look, hi, I would really love a chat um, about work. If you've got a minute, please give us a ring back, and then
Mm.
just talk to them. They're
Yeah.
just people. They're just
Yeah.
people. I know they're responsible for you getting jobs, but you want the job, and
Yeah.
they want to get you jobs.
Yeah.
So just, yeah, start talking to them. You can be friendly and you can be friends with your agent, but don't start telling them about your love life. I mean, if you have that relationship with them, that's great.
Well, yeah.
That's a very fine thing.
Mm.
Just, yeah, start fighting more. I think it's time actors stop being so yes, yes, and start being okay, no, why?
Yeah.
Yes, I'll do it, but what are you going to give me? It's a
Mm,
business. You need to
yeah.
treat it as such.
Go on, Lee. Go on. Here he goes.
Why not? But these are the things again I've learned. I've been acting since I was 15 and I'm
Yeah.
29.
Yeah. And
So I've
most
learned a thing or
actors
two
come
by
out.
now.
Yeah. And most actors come out of drama school, and that's like what I did. And
Mm.
you just go, right, I'm fresh into the industry, and now it is all yes, yes, I'll do anything type thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. But thanks so much for chatting. That's been
No, thank you
great.
so much for having me.
No, it's
Thank you.
been
It's been
fun.
great. It's been really good.
Oh, it's so nice to see you. We'll have to
Yeah,
try and meet up
likewise.
at some point whenever you're in
I'm sure
London
we
or
can. I'm sure we
anything
can.
at some
Well,
point.
everything's going up in price. So if you ever want a bit of, you know, bang for your buck, come up north.
Oh my God, yeah. Even the Weatherspoons is more expensive here than it is in the north. What the hell?
I know. We can get pints for like £3. Unheard of in London.
Here you go. There you go.
There you go.